What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hadfield. Joining me this week, Justin Davis,
Scoop.
Jared Petty,
Hi.
Sam Claiborne. We've got a great show for you today, but first, some housekeeping notes. PAX is this weekend. I and several other IGN personalities will be there. If you want to hang out with us, there's a bunch of different ways you can do so. First up, Friday night, 8 p.m., I'm DJing the NetEase party, opening up for Steve Aoki. That is at Sodo Showroom, I want to say. Check my Twitter feed for more info. Your PAX badge gets you in for free. And then Saturday is the IGN meet and greet. That is at a Indian restaurant called Amber.
Awesome.
In the
Do you think they have
downtown area.
pizza?
What's that?
Indian
I don't think
pizza?
they do Indian pizza.
Oh.
No. You got to come to the Mission
What about those really good Indian crepes?
for Indian pizza. I don't know if they have those.
Those are really good.
Zante's Indian Pizza.
There's good Indian pizza in the Sunset too.
Is that
Really?
true?
Yeah.
I don't know.
By my old house.
It's not mentioned in Why the Last Man.
That's true. And then on Sunday is the Game Scoop live panel is 5:30 p.m. in the Sasquatch Theater. So for more info
That
on,
is a cool theater
That
name.
is a cool theater.
Yeah, the Sasquatch Theater.
That wasn't like your last one in like the Arachnid Theater?
That's PAX East. That's
yeah,
what they're naming.
what is it with you guys have amazing theater names? That's great.
We don't name them. This is PAX.
I know,
PAX
it's just
names their
rad.
theaters.
Oh, okay. So that's not the actual name of the theater. Okay, I got
This
it.
is, yeah, this
I'm
is what
with you.
PAX is
Oh,
called.
okay.
The theater for this event.
I thought that was actually like on their sign. That would be
Yeah.
nuts.
Anyway,
I thought
just
of PAX, I'll hold down the fort here.
yeah, hold down the fort here.
Sadly, I will not be at PAX either.
No, you know, I think I'm the only one from this panel that will be there, but
As a father.
Mitch, Marty, Brian Altano, Max, Naomi, Andrew, Destin, a bunch of us are going to
The
be
cool kids will all be at PAX.
there. Just follow my Twitter feed at DameZero for more information if you want to hang out with us at PAX. Anyway, let's get on to the show. Let's get on to the hard-hitting video game news that Game Scoop is known for.
Yeah.
Like the fact that
and balanced.
Just Cause 3, there's a contest with Just Cause 3 where you can win an actual island.
Yep.
I tried to get
Or
information.
$50,000.
Or $50,000.
You can just spurn the island.
Yep.
Wait a second. I
So-
missed that detail.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
You
the best
can do-
detail.
So I think,
Doesn't that mean it's a bullshit island?
yeah, of course. So like this island would only be worth $50,000. And I tried to do some research on how much islands cost.
Yeah, there's
They're
no
like
geographical
millions.
location for the island either.
Private islands are like millions of dollars.
We do
So
actually know.
I don't know how much
Unless they're
island-
in like maybe like Alabama or like, you know.
An island in Alabama?
Yeah, like on a river.
Yeah, they're
Well, like in the Sacramento River Delta.
I know.
Prime real estate's pretty
Yeah.
cheap there.
So I
Yeah.
know a surprisingly large amount about buying private islands.
Really?
I have looked this up in the past.
Interesting.
It tweaks my imagination. I really like the idea of owning.
I like that idea too. Sure,
Yeah.
I'm sure many people do.
And we did a feature on IGN on I don't remember what it was. It was someone paid like $500 million to buy some developer or something, and it was like, here's what else you could have bought with that money, and it's like you could buy a dozen private islands.
Yeah, well, there's a really pretty, like, amazing private island.
Yeah, and so I was really curious when I saw this Just Cause contest. I was very suspicious. I'm like, why aren't they telling us more about the island?
Yep.
I want to see the island. That's because it's got to be a garbage island.
So it's just like a salty piece of
mean,
land,
I
like
think-
a Jimmy Buffett lighthouse island.
I
Like
don't know.
just,
It's so- it could be
Maybe
cool.
not even that.
yeah.
I think it's just a publicity stunt where the winner will be heavily suggested that they just take the 50K.
Yeah, it's like in
Yeah.
The Simpsons where Bart insists on getting Stampy the elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we looked into a lot of other ancient publicity stunts and contemporary ones for games after reading this story, and I have some good ones for you.
Oh, you
they
want
were-
to lay them on us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that why we were talking about that? I
Yeah,
didn't even know.
I did a lot of research. So I can go through. How many do I have time for?
You got all the time in the world,
All right. So
Sam.
okay. Starts with Sword Quest.
Heck yeah.
It's
Sword
early
Quest.
2600.
Sword Quest for the Atari 2600. They made 5 prizes out of gold and precious metals,
Yep.
and
They
said
were-
there are going to be 4 games that come out after Sword Quest plus Sword Quest to make the series. They're called like Water World, Fire World, Earth World, stuff like that.
It was 4 games and then a final contest.
final
There were only 4
contest.
games. Yeah,
Yeah.
there are 4 Sword Quest games.
And then they were going to do they were going to give these to people, and 3 of the prizes have never been seen.
Well, they've been
Except out of the original picture of all this gold stuff.
Yeah,
point is
one
the whole
guy.
2 people won them.
2 people won. 3 of them were seen by one of the winners.
Yeah.
And there's some photographs of some of
It's
them.
like
So they did all
It's
exist.
like a gold crown, a sword, and then a bunch of okay. So that was
They're
a big
worth
stunt.
like $25,000.
Atari, yeah, they're really expensive.
And the whole thing turned into a boondoggle.
I think as recently as 2005, one of the winners was
Yeah.
interviewed and he was still in possession.
Yeah, he
And
still has the chalice. Yeah.
Atari collapsed
Yeah.
right when this is happening. So that happened. Okay, so in the late '80s, Mega Man. Every character that you know in the Mega Man games after Mega Man 1, which has Gutsman, my favorite robot.
I love Gutsman.
all the
And Bomberman.
robots were products of contests in Japan.
Even in Mega Man 2,
yeah, Mega Man 2.
every single
Contests.
robot after Mega Man 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I guess I didn't realize that either.
So and like they didn't have to like draw them or anything, but they would submit ideas for them. And then in Mega Man 4, they actually gave out these gold cartridges for it, and
8, right? One for each Robot Master.
Yeah, and there's one on display in Super Potato in Japan. And Jose took a picture of it when he was
But they only made 8 of these cartridges, and they were prizes for the winners.
All right, you have a young baby.
I do have a young child, yeah.
You could have named your child Turok if your child had been born in 2002, I believe, and you would have gotten $10,000 from Acclaim.
Your daughter Turok seems like a more fitting name.
Yeah, isn't that good?
She is a destructor. If I also have a baby, I also have grandparents that are sadly no longer with us.
And
the same company, Acclaim, they were paying people to advertise Shadow Man on
2.
tombstones.
On tombstones.
How would you advertise it though?
You say Shadow Man 2 is badass.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Granny.
R.I.P. It was great.
I mean, it was all just for the shock value, the publicity.
So here's one that's a little bit closer to home. Do you remember when we sent one Destin Legary into the wilds of Northern California to chase a balloon with a copy of Mass Effect 3 tied to it?
Yep.
I thought we sent Alfredo.
We probably sent Alfredo, but Destin went anyway. And Destin got horrible poison oak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, so
because the balloon sailed into this redwood cluster, and he was chasing it on GPS, part of this contest, and he didn't get it.
They dropped copies of Mass Effect 3 from like.
They sent them up with weather balloons or whatever. They're floating through the air, and then they came down. Like, it's such a disaster. Like, you think about this for more than 5 seconds, and you're like, this is going to land on private property.
Yep.
This is going to be harmful to the environment. People are going to be like crashing through, state parks. Like
This Mass Effect Fulton system going on all around. No, that's freaking crazy.
It's not as dumb as THQ sending the balloons into the air for what was it? The release of
That was Homefront.
Homefront.
And that wasn't a contest, but that was a publicity stunt where they had I believe a Korean food truck at GDC, and they unleashed some balloons. So another contest, Peter Molyneux made a game called Curiosity. It was about tapping a whole lot to get to the center of a giant
mobile
cube
game
thing. Yeah, it's a mobile game. And at the center, he said, what it's at the center will change your life.
Right.
And the young man who got to the center didn't know who Peter Molyneux was and didn't really know anything about this. And still to this day, I think, hasn't gotten a lot out of it.
It's actually a really sad story. I think Eurogamer, we looked it up, right?
Yeah.
Like Eurogamer interviewed him, and it's really sad. Like he was supposed to win a bunch of money, and then he was supposed to
it was ambiguous what he was supposed to win.
He was getting a share of the profits of their next game. They made a game called Goddess, and he was supposed to be a god in that game and get to shape, like, I want the game to be this, like almost like a creative director.
So everybody would play this game, but there's going to be one central deity, and that was the winner of the contest. Like, it's a clever tie-in.
But then, like, he says that the developer wouldn't return his emails or phone calls.
Was this 99 cans?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
So Peter Molyneux wouldn't return his emails.
Well, I mean, like the dev team, and then it just turned into this weird thing, and it sounds awful.
So nothing came out of it?
He he got a trip. They flew him out to meet everybody.
He won Curiosity.
Yeah.
And then I think he did get
He got an interview in Eurogamer.
cash, maybe, but not. I mean, it didn't obviously end up being what was
It was a
promised.
debacle.
If just nothing happens, that doesn't sound like a tragedy.
The problem was, Damon, he chose the island.
That's it. I want to roll
Always
it back
take
for a
the
second.
$50K.
I would
exactly.
kill to know where those 3 lost Sword Quest prizes are. As a
You
2 are
would kill.
accounted for. I think so
Like a
because
person
You
or
can't kill one of the leads in this because he's already dead, and that's Jack Tramiel.
That's true. Who may have had the sword. People say, people say that people saw the sword, which was, I think, the $50,000 prize, the most expensive one that was going to be the final contest prize, hanging in his living room, but nobody's completely sure. But all 3 of those, we know they were made. The combined value of the 5 prizes, $150,000 in 1982.
Oh,
money.
they went to cash for gold in 1985.
Yeah, so but did they just get melted down?
Yeah, this is viral marketing for what's the book where they go?
Sword Quest?
No, man, it's one of my favorite books from the last few years. I loaned it to you.
Oh, Ready Player One.
Yeah, it's viral marketing for Ready Player One too. They've been planning it for 40 years.
I still owe you that copy back.
No, I told you it's a gift.
So anyway, video game contests be crazy.
Yeah, that's
totally.
true. So to win this Just Cause 3 Island contest, you need to purchase the Day 1 edition. Then, when the game launches, you have to rack up as many Chaos points as you can while you play. After 90 days, if you're on top of the Chaos Points leaderboard, the island is yours.
You know there's
Damon,
gonna
can I just name my baby just cause?
No, you have to play the game.
I don't know. On the one hand, I'm glad that it's sort of a skill-based. It's not just like, hey, a random person's gonna win, but it being number one on the leaderboard, that's just gonna be cheesed all the hell, right?
Just
Like,
imagine the last two guys.
How do you mean?
they'll find some way to cheese the
Do they exploit
leaderboards.
it?
Yeah.
I don't know what cheese means. You mean exploit?
Yes, it's synonymous with exploit.
But will there be like two people
So-
at day 89
Yes.
just like
I'm gonna have
pushing
some
for
wine
ultimate
and
supremacy?
exploitation.
Sam really liked that one.
It's good. The term cheesed is used more and more now.
Or he'll pay someone minimum wage to just play the game on his account 24 hours a day. They'll have shifts of people.
The only person that could possibly afford to do that is somebody who already has a private island.
Yeah, because at 80,
I think the math works out. If you
I
want
own
the
a pair of
50K,
islands.
if you want the 50K, pay 3 people
An
10K
archipelago.
to just play the game in 8-hour shifts, and then you're playing it for 24 hours straight.
You know what I'm noticing here? It says the contest begins December 1st and ends February 29th. So February is going to be long next year.
Oh, wow.
Apparently.
Leap year.
Yeah.
extra day.
We should do a game scoop that day.
We should do a GameScoop that day. And yeah, maybe we can announce the winner of the island live here on GameScoop.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Let's work with Square Enix.
Absolutely.
Justin, work that out with Square Enix.
Got it.
Here, let's read the fine print together for this contest. Location of island to be determined by sponsor. All taxes and fees associated with purchasing and obtaining island, including but not limited to attorney's fees, escrow, and closing costs, are the responsibility of the winner. Sponsor does not guarantee the island to be inhabitable, developed, or reachable by any means other than a boat.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, yeah. Otherwise, it's
Because it's not big enough to land a plane on.
Yeah.
That's how
We're
tiny.
talking about like a technical island, which would be
Right.
like a rock in the middle of a river.
But I also
Yeah.
like how they're like, we'll determine they don't even have the island. None of this is real.
I know, it's not real. I think the size of this island would be like when a cartoon character crashes, their plane crashes in the ocean, and they're on that just like sand dune with
Yeah.
one palm tree
Yeah.
on that
I'd
island.
take
That's
that.
what it is.
Maybe they'll buy, you know how like housing developments in the suburbs have the duck lakes and then they have the one little island out in the middle that's man-made?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe just like could go out there and plant a flag.
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
that's-
Damon and I go to Kansas a lot. We could make an island out there.
Out there,
There's,
yeah.
there's plenty of farm ponds.
There's
You
a
just-
big lake in Olathe.
Yeah, exactly. You just dump some dirt in the middle of that lake, and that's your island
Yeah.
on 2 acres.
Anyway, Just Cause 3 is out December 1st. I am interested in playing that game.
Looks great.
I love the grappling hook.
The grappling hook's super fun.
I'm pretty sold on grappling hooks in games.
From Bionic Commando on, that's been
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the kind of Bionic Commando games bookend grappling hook goodness.
Yeah, there is that. That's good. Yeah, there's been some bad grappling hooks in between. You're right.
Remember Bionic Commando Rearmed?
Yes, indeed. Really enjoyed it.
Do you remember there was a Bionic Commando Rearmed 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
That added the ability to jump.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Bionic Commando Rearm 2 I tried very hard to like and did not have any luck.
Nope.
There's not many things that you need to do in a Bionic Commando game, and not jumping is probably one of
You
them.
need to
Yeah,
not jump.
yeah.
Yes.
That first few minutes you're playing the first Bionic Commando and you figure out you can't jump. You almost would stop playing right there, just like, what is this bull, just total bull game. And 10 minutes in, when you start to figure out what you're capable of with that with the hook, it's then like, oh, okay, I get it.
Lost
And
Planet
that's-
had a grappling hook.
Yeah, a pretty good one.
Bionic Commando was what, 1988?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember my grandpa took me to KB Toys, bought me a Bionic Commando, and I remember it cost $54
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
in 1988.
So over $50, yeah.
Yeah. It was so sophisticated.
cool.
The music was amazing.
I mean,
it was
do you
so
still have the
smooth.
box?
Probably not.
It's a lot of money in 20
I'm just saying, like,
bucks.
games cost $60 today.
Yeah.
Do you know why you wanted it? Like why you wanted that
Because of
game?
Nintendo Power.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that
I
works.
saw the graphics of like the explosion at the end.
Oh.
I don't know why spoilers, they put that in there, but yeah.
Super Joe.
Yeah.
It's a simpler time.
Moving on, our next topic this week comes from listener Shay. He emailed us at gamescoop@ign.com, just like you can.
Hi, Shay.
Shay says, I have a degree and a career in the cinema production field.
Oh,
What do we think that means? What's cinema production? Is he a filmmaker?
Making movies.
making motion pictures.
When I go to see movies for fun, I have a hard time not picking the movie apart. I always tend to try to figure out the scene, the lighting, the staging, the camera movement, even though I try my hardest to just enjoy the movie as a normal person would, or blue pill. I always seem to do this. Is this what happens to you when you're playing games for the first time? Does this happen to you when you're playing for fun, not for your job like reviews and guides and whatnot? So, is it hard for us just to play a game for fun and
Yes.
not pick it apart? You think yes?
Yes.
I play games. I play them for fun, but picking them apart isn't unfun for me. I enjoy picking games apart. That's writing guides has really taught me a lot about things like level design and what goes into game structure. But I don't find it less enjoyable to notice those things. Actually, I like in watching a movie. I enjoy seeing the curtain pulled back and how the magic was done. So for a video game, that sense of oh, I see what they did there. That's really enjoyable for me.
Plus, it's up to the game or the film to suspend your disbelief, right? To make sure that you can abandon that and forget about the mise en scène and forget about the lighting and just make sure that you're engaged. I mean, that's the obligation of the creators.
That's how I.
But we're a little bit more tuned to what's going on in it.
That's my technique for getting through spooky movies, which I don't care for one bit.
Is you just say it's just a movie, it's just a movie.
Yes, no, I picture myself. I picture what I'm looking at is there's a camera right there, and there's a million people standing doing their job, and then they cut. She screams, and then they cut the scene, and they go tweak her hair, and that's what I have to picture.
In order to get through a scary movie?
That's really cool.
I mean, the opposite is that I've always heard when I started writing guides, 8 or 9 years ago for IGN, that it's going to ruin games for you, and that doing this will make it really. But it doesn't work out that way because I always do guides as a freelancer for terrible games, so that was no problem. And then once I started doing guides for games I really love, like the Halo series and stuff like that, it was great because you have the game early and you get to explode it, and that's why guide writing is done by people that aren't getting paid for it. That's the whole basis of game facts and wikis, is that it's really fun if you really like a game to take it apart and know every part of it.
That's why I love my job. It's what I did anyway. When I play a game, I try to break it. It's one of the very first things I do. Walk to the left in limbo and get that whoa, why they accounted for that. And trying to find all the things that people do or don't account for and what's going to happen by pushing the boundaries of a universe. That's one of my favorite things about video games. What's the edge of reality here? I can't go into the real world and push boundaries that far. I'll go to jail. But in a video game,
you can't walk left in real life.
That's why you need your own island.
That's why if I had my own,
you could walk left all day long, and not all day. You'd run into the ocean.
If it's circular.
Fast.
Yeah,
that's true.
Walking to the
good point.
I mean, I'm glad that your experience has been a little bit different. I would absolutely say that working as a journalist for, a decade or just, in or closely related to video games has changed the way that I interact with them and view them and knowing how they're made. I would completely say that it takes away some level of being able to just enjoy games as a hobby. Yeah, totally.
Although does our part of what we all do here and why we're all here is that we enjoy games as fans, and we are totally that first and foremost. We love talking about games and being fans of video games.
I'm super pumped about Metal Gear Solid 5. Even though
we're not developers, we are fans, and we're covering stuff from that perspective, and we wouldn't be good at that if we weren't fans of games. So it's kind of we're gonna like games no matter what because that's what we were hired.
Yeah,
to do.
this moment right here, sitting here with these lights and cameras on, talking to you people, is one of the happiest moments of my week, and it's because it's of that fact. You're just soaked up in it all the time. It's so.
So if anything, we enjoy games even more because we're here doing it.
I would say I play games with a critical eye, but it doesn't inhibit my enjoyment.
Me neither.
For instance, I'm playing Disgaea 5 right now, and I'm fully aware of how the game systems work, and it's a loop. It's a very simple loop that I just go over and over again, and I love it. I can just play it all day long. But I'm also a big movie buff, and I think I watch movies with a bit of a critical eye too. I think I watch from an informed perspective that allows me to notice when there's a super long take or when the camera does something impossible, like in Avengers: Age of Ultron, when they show Tony Stark walking on a glass platform underneath, and the camera goes up through the glass and is now above him. Now, I think
movie magic.
Yeah. I like being able to notice that stuff. I think it's just being an informed consumer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I do. I think what helps is, the games that we write about for IGN are not necessarily the games that a lot of us are as personally passionate. There's a separation between what I do during my time at work and what I do. I spend a tremendous amount of time with Dwarf Fortress at home, but it's very, very hard for me to work that into my work, and I understand that and respect that. And so it doesn't feel like I don't necessarily take it home with me day after day. There's huge overlap. I write about Hearthstone and play Hearthstone, but our personal interests, my personal gaming taste probably skews a little bit more hardcore and weird. Like I have weird, strange taste in game that doesn't always manifest itself in my work.
Let me give one example of how the industry has changed us in a very different way when playing games. I think we all have tremendous respect for game developers and game development that I wouldn't have gotten as a fan. And I know that side of it. And because of that, I know how hard people work on bad games. And that the worst game that I'm ever going to play was the product of somebody actually trying, a bunch of people probably, trying really hard to actually make something good. Whatever tripped them up in that process happened, but and the end result might not be good. But to respect the craft, games are so hard to make. Indie games are so much more hard to make than an indie record. Like it's unbelievably hard to make video games. And now having known developers and everybody that works in the industry now, like I'm just amazed to play a game like The Witcher, let alone a game like Super Meat Boy. They're just remarkable pieces of engineered humanity. Like I can't believe how amazing games are.
The flip side is I always used to be afraid when I was a much younger critic to score a game poorly. I would always give the game a score that I thought it deserved, but I don't know. Like I really didn't like it, and it's like I know some of the people that make it, and it's just not a great feeling. But what I figured out now is that the people making games know their game better than you do as a critic. Like, they ran out of time, they ran out of money, they had some ideas early on that didn't work out, and it was too late to switch course. And then they ship, like, look, this is the best we were able to do, it's done, on to the next one, and they know it's going to get bad scores, usually. Like, it's
I just wanted to point out what he meant is not that he knows the people making the game he's reviewing. He knows people that make games.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure, people move on to whatever. Like, I'm just saying, like, having worked in this business for a long time, like, you just know, sometimes you know some of the names. Like, it's just how it works.
I saw a good quote from a developer recently, just in regards to what you're saying. The quote is, "You don't make money developing games, you make money shipping games." So at the end of the day, they need to ship what they've been working on for the past 2 years, even if it's not.
Like, I'm incredibly proud of some of the work I've done, and some of the work I've done, the project just didn't come together the way that I wanted. And it's like you can sort of figure out why afterwards, but it's hard when you're in the middle of it. And it's the same way with game development. It's very, very uncommon that a game gets savaged by reviewers when the people making it thought it was great. Yeah. Usually they kind of know that they're constrained by time or money or whatever.
All right, moving on. This is Matt Dufford. He says, "I'm playing the Black Ops 3 beta, and I'm quite sad. I'm 28, and I feel like I've finally grown out of Call of Duty. I've played every Call of Duty religiously throughout the years. I've come to the realization that I now prefer exploring Witcher 3 over playing multiplayer-focused games like COD. I'm sad that I've grown out of something I used to spend so much time enjoying. Have any of you ever felt sad about growing out of a genre you used to enjoy? Thanks for all you do."
Well, I have some hope for you here. In my case, I've grown out of series, I thought, or grown out of where I've lost interest in or left them behind. And then, come back. It's amazing what 7 years will do.
You talking about Bionic Commando again?
No, I'm not. Bionic Commando I never stopped loving. I've been playing Bionic Commando nonstop since the late 80s. What a great game.
He's playing it right now.
No, there are games that I stepped away from for years, or series or types of games. And I was
Examples,
like,
Jared.
I don't know. Let's see. Most of the NES library, I'd say. You walk away.
But you played those games, and you're
well, no. Let's take this. Like, okay, so up to about 1992, I'm playing a lot of Mario games, right? And then for 6 years, probably, don't touch one. Just sort of fall away from them. Start playing more and more PC games. Start playing Civilization. Start playing Master of Orion. Start playing Quake. Go to first-person shooters. And yeah, those 2D games, they were fun, and I got good memories of them. And then one day, I find an old Nintendo at a house I'm cleaning up for a civil service organization, and take it home, a bunch of old cartridges with it, and plug in, and like, these are still amazing. So what I'm saying is, you can rediscover that love for something that you thought wasn't all that important to you anymore. You may find that...
provided that you can play Call of Duty online in 20 years.
Yeah, there's that. I mean the type of game. I'm talking more about multiplayer shooters.
Yeah, totally. I think that there's a social component to playing Call of Duty online that you have at certain times in your life, and you probably won't have at another time in your life. And the same thing applies to many other games. Rock Band is my example in my life. Yeah. I had a great era of my life in which my very closest friends would come over all the time and play Rock Band in a big group, like 15 people switching off on instruments. Wonderful. I don't want to go back to that. I don't feel like I can. It's not the same group of people that are in my life right now. It's not that I don't have the same house set up. Like, it's just, it's not going to happen. I'll always love those times. great multiplayer times, but it's not in that place anymore.
Yeah, I feel the same as Sam. There's certain times in your life where you're in like maybe a golden period and you don't realize it. Like I had a core group of people that we would play Gears of War every single night. They were some of my coworkers and some of my friends, and it was great. Like that's the best feeling multiplayer game to me. The best sort of force to cooperate as a team. And then it kind of ended, and like it's never gonna come back. Like those people are all at different points in their life, and I'm at a different point in my life. We're in different time zones. Like I don't know that I'm ever gonna play a game online like that again. Maybe I shouldn't say ever. Who the heck knows what will happen in 10 years? But
and that's your social, like that. Your game is your social life at that point.
Well, and there's
but then
also
your social life takes over sometimes, and the game is not necessary anymore.
Well, and I
So
really
it happens.
I had a huge fondness for like JRPGs in high school, and I'm playing a lot of these PS1 RPGs and Grandia and all the Final Fantasies, and would go back and play older stuff. And realistically, like I can't do that anymore. Like there's not enough time for me to do that anymore. So there's games that I have an appreciation of, but just can't. I love MMOs, for example, but they're probably not going to be a part of my life again. I don't know. You just pick and choose. Like you have this many hours in the day.
Everyone has
and
the
this
same
many years
amount of
in your
time.
life, right?
Yeah, you have this many hours in the day, and that adds up to a week and a year. Like, and that's realistically, like, I love Final Fantasy IX, but it's like I can replay that again, or I can watch, all of Boardwalk Empire, and like I don't know. These are the choices we all make.
But some of these, I absolutely think there's tremendous validity to what both of you are saying, and I've experienced it. But every now and then, and maybe it's just that I'm a grotesque man-child, I do find myself deliberately.
Well, what we're saying is we couldn't go back to Rock Band. Like I don't have a group of people
Harmonix
that want
hopes
to
you
play
will.
Rock Band.
But maybe in a year you will, unexpectedly. I mean, you stumble onto stuff sometimes.
I'm curious as to why Matt feels sad about this, because
He's playing a game alone now,
well,
which I love doing.
but he says he's
That's
really
my favorite thing about The
he's
Witcher.
really enjoying Witcher 3.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. Like he could still play Call of Duty if he wanted to,
Yeah.
but now The Witcher 3 is more fun for him. So what's
Maybe he
what's
has
there to
some
be
friends
sad
that are
about?
still playing it that he doesn't want to.
But he could just go play it if he wanted to. Like, I don't understand.
Maybe he's just
do what you want to do.
His
But it
tastes
could-
are changing. He's getting older, and he just fears the inevitable touch
But it could
of
be the
death.
situation I have, in which even if I wanted
28
to play
years
Rock
old.
Band, I can't
Yeah.
do it. Like I can't, or Gears of War. I played Gears of War a lot too. Like I can't just go out and be like, "Hey, everybody, let's get together and play Gears of War." Like I just don't. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to do that
I
with
mean,
me.
even outside of the social
And that's
element
okay.
of it, like I said, I have a huge appreciation and fondness for JRPGs, and it makes me sad that I'm probably not going to be able to play that many JRPGs. Like I could if I wanted, but what's the trade-off? Like, what am I not doing instead? Like, I like board games a lot. I like other things a lot, and it's like stuff just falls off. Some stuff has to fall off, and that's something that fell off. Like,
Does that make you sad?
yeah, totally.
Maybe it's because
I have no regrets.
I wish I have fantasies
I'm
about
like Jared. I'll force my way back into it if I have to.
I think I'm just obnoxious. That may just be the answer. It's just like, no, I will hold on like grim death to this
I have
thing.
fantasies of like freezing time and being able to get, if a day was 30 hours instead of 24 and I could just spend 6 and then be able to have all the hobbies that I'd like to have.
I do have my Rock Band equipment, and it's all like boxed up nicely. I really don't want it because I don't have a lot of room in my San Francisco flat. Like this is a stupid thing to be keeping this. But I know these close friends of mine, we still have a long-term plan to do Rock Band reunion. So we'll do it just once.
But this fall?
It could be, not with a new Rock Band, with the original.
Okay.
Play the songs and then put it in a dumpster.
That's awesome.
So it's always been an inside thing we talk about, doing Rock Band reunion. But I need closure,
Well, Matt, you're spending your time playing Witcher 3, which is many people's favorite RPG in a long time.
It's
so
wonderful.
Things are okay.
Wonderful game.
Things are not so bad, I don't think. And Call of Duty will always be there, probably every year, the rest of your life, if you ever want to go back to it.
They
and
said that
revisit
about
it.
Guitar Hero.
Yeah, that's true, actually. All right, this is Philip. He says, I loved the Name That Character segment in your recent podcast. Sam, last week we played video game Who Am I?
Without me?
Yeah, well, we're going to play it again here. So. But he says, I just
Is
have a
it Peter
suggestion.
Pepper?
I'm sorry? Hold on. I was really intrigued by some of your insider knowledge about the characters and wanted to know a little more. So last week, Justin was Chun-Li, and then Jared was GLaDOS.
Oh. So this is different than 20 questions.
Yeah.
I just want to say that 20 questions with Qbert, I watched that. You guys are total failures. I would have gotten that the first question.
I figured it out.
It took way too long.
We have 20 questions. You gotta pat out
I got
the suspense
very
for
thrown
people.
off by not eating or shooting.
I was so disappointed.
Or jump, or like platforming.
I was proud of myself. We got there in plenty
Philip
of time.
says, for GLaDOS, it was mentioned that she was mechanical, and then you all collectively took it back. I just wanted to know why. I always assumed she was a robot, hence made out of mechanical parts.
GLaDOS is an AI.
She's an AI. She could inhabit a mechanical body if she chose to.
And
but
like
not-
the OS
she
even
herself.
stands for like operating system,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
that's why it's like, is she mechanical? Like, yeah, mostly, but not technically.
Hence my confusion. If you were wondering why I had that deer in the headlights look, because I think I agree with the way they answered,
just
but it was
freeze?
hard. I
No,
know, but
he was GLaDOS, and his first question was, "Do I have a gender?" And we're like,
so that was made guessing hard. It took a little while because a lot of the answers to my questions: Am I mechanical? Do I have?
So in the spirit of that, Damon made it even harder this week.
Yeah,
so
the answers were all kind of like.
Sanic the Fast Hog.
Sanic.
Philip has suggested a character for this week. Who would like to play?
Oh, I think we should let Sam play because he
Sam?
hasn't.
Okay, Sam, close your eyes real quick. This is who Sam is.
Sure.
All right, so Sam, you will now ask questions to try and guess who you are.
Does the audience
Oh.
not get to know this week?
They said they'd rather not know.
Because they want to guess along.
Yeah,
with
they
us.
wanna
guess
So
along with
audience, you are also a character, but Sam will be your proxy.
Yeah.
All right, Sam is your avatar.
All right. Am I a mechanical
Are you mechanical? No.
or biological? Is what?
you are biologically.
Biological.
Yes, but it's yes or no questions.
Oh, okay. Am I a lady?
No.
Nope.
Am I an animal?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have fur?
No.
No.
Oh, wow. Am I a dragon?
No.
No.
Okay.
That's a good guess.
You're Cubert.
Yeah, seriously. I better not be Cubert. If I'm Cubert, I'm going to be really mad at you guys because I already guessed it earlier.
You can ask the question.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay.
Am I a creature that exists in reality?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's a totally good question.
Am I an anthropomorphized version of that creature? Can I talk and stuff like that?
No.
Oh, I don't have fur. Man. Do I have trouble crossing streets?
I would say you
That would be
would
difficult.
were you ever to cross the street.
That would be difficult for you.
It'd be very difficult for
It's
you.
never come up.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not Frogger.
No.
Great question.
Do I have feathers?
No.
Nope.
Do I have scales?
Nope.
No.
Do I have... No? Jeez. Don't animals have to be covered in something? Do I have spikes?
Nope.
No.
Am I multicellular?
Yes.
Yes.
That's a pretty good question,
wow.
too.
What would you, if you weren't, what character would that be?
I don't know.
Do I walk on feet?
No.
No.
Do I walk on hooves?
No.
No.
Or paws?
What did you say?
Do I swim?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Am I Echo the Dolphin? Wow.
Echo the dolphin.
Yeah, because no
correct.
scales is the mammal. That's difficult.
Yeah, I was standing by. You are male. You've been in 8 games.
You're a male.
That's so many.
Yeah. you've
Yeah,
been in 8
that's
Echo the
amazing.
Dolphin games.
I didn't know Echo was like canonically a male. I didn't even know that.
This game, by the way, responsible for maybe my favorite thing I've ever heard Damon say. Last week, somebody wrote in and was like, "Hey, well, you guys should turn the tables on Damon and make him play this." I walked over to Damon and suggested this, and he looked at me straight in the eye, and without missing a beat, he says, "Bob Barker does not play The Price is Right."
It's true.
I was like, "That's fantastic."
Were you all secretly laughing when you were thinking about Echo the Dolphin crossing the street?
Yes.
It would be very difficult, I believe was the quote from that.
Well, I was imagining him there being a street and him springing up and flipping
Yeah, that's what I
and
was
going
going to say.
over it.
He
Maybe
could cross over the street.
If there's a river, if there's water on both sides of the street.
Yeah.
Do you know Echo also has like either a tattoo or symbols on his
Yeah.
head that represent his mom and dad?
I did not know that.
I did know that.
I didn't know
This is what you learn.
Echo was a male, actually. So, and I know you looked that up. Echo the Dolphin was a very pretty game I never understood. I played it
understood?
a whole lot, but I couldn't really, I don't remember progressing very easily in it. It was puzzles. It was puzzles that were hard to solve.
Like several Genesis games, it had a really beautiful, fluid, amazing beginning, and then moved on to crap levels.
Yeah.
A problem that some
I remember
Genesis
you could talk
side
to
scores
whales
had.
and stuff. That was cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you time traveled.
You go in like outer space at some point, don't you?
I never
I know
got
you
to
like
that.
at least like fight an alien.
That's great news.
Jesus.
Before we go, Jack has one more suggestion here. Jerry or Justin, you want to do this one?
Sure.
All right, close your eyes.
All right, here we go.
This is who Justin is.
Oh, okay.
We all know this character in the game that the character's from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, why'd you have to ask that clarifying question? Am I a man?
No.
Am I a woman?
Yes.
Yes.
Am I from video games?
Yes.
Am I from a video game released in the last 10 years?
Yes.
Okay. Am I considered more of an indie game character?
No.
No.
Am I primarily associated with one console?
No.
So my games appear on multiple platforms?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Am I rendered in 2 dimensions?
Nope.
Yeah.
Well,
Am
yeah, that's
Sometimes.
right. Yeah, sometimes. That's right.
Okay, so I appear in both 2D and 3D form.
About that.
Okay, do I appear on Xbox Live Arcade?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Wait, okay, so I don't even have any picture in my head of what this could possibly be.
Did you ask the road crossing question?
Am I known for parkour?
Yes.
My faith.
Yes.
There we go.
I think
Yay,
Video Game
nice
Who Am I
one.
is easier than Video Game 20 Questions.
Well, Sam and I also had our act together.
Yeah, that's true. Viewers and listeners, if you enjoy Video Game 20 Questions, don't fret, because we're going to be playing that live at the GameScoop panel at PAX this Sunday, and we'll be posting that later on the online and for you guys to download and to watch and listen. So more Video Game 20 Questions to come in the near future.
Yes.
But that's all the scoops we have for you this week. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Remember, you can always reach us at the email address, gamescoop@ign.com. Hopefully, I will see many of you at PAX this weekend. My name is Damon. This is IGN GameScoop, and we're out.